I'm fed up. I'm worried about the country and, quite frankly, its people. We're all being played and manipulated. I'm the Louisiana Conservatarian because I'm living in Louisiana and because I see myself as a conservatarian, kind of half conservative, half libertarian. It's complicated, but basically, if you all took a test on your ideology, I bet the majority of you would come up with conservatarian. A lot of people like to describe it as liberally, social issues liberal, physical issues conservative, and that's a very simplistic way to look at it. And it's not always entirely accurate, but it gives you kind of a flavor, a sense of it. I'm fed up with both parties at this point, to be honest with you, but I try to look at things objectively. And here's what I see. Trump Derangement Syndrome is real, and it's poisoning our media and certain pockets of the population. This extreme hatred is something I've never seen before. I mean, pure hate. Now, there was, I think, a small segment on the right that had maybe this level of hate for Obama and Clinton and others, but nothing like what you see now. Not so wide across the entire media and large segments of the population that actually, say extremely hurtful things. And I don't mean just, hurtful words. I mean, talking about things like, killing and death and holding up his severed head like was done. And it's just amazing how over the top this stuff has gone. And let's look at Trump. Now, look, I'm not a 100% Trump guy, but I do like a lot of what he's done. But let me talk to you about it. Really look at it objectively. He's not conservative. He's not even Republican. He's not really an ideologue. He's a plain-speaking guy from Queens who is a problem solver. He likes to solve problems, and he solves them and in ways that rub some people the wrong way, but he just doesn't really care. He doesn't think about the politics or who it's going to tick off. He just sees a problem, he sees the way to solve it, and he goes about doing it. And I think that's part of his appeal to a lot of people. Now, he's not a smooth talker. He's not someone who's going to sound, widely intelligent and baffle people with his intellect. He's a plain-speaking guy. And I admit, there are times when I kind of cringe at what he says and how he says it. But, and I don't agree with maybe about like 25% of his policies, but I agree with the results. We've come to a place where the message and the messenger is almost like more important than the results. Really? I mean, is that what it's come down to? Is a country that has full employment, less regulations, a lot more freedom to do things that you want to do as a business person, income increases, and all the good things that were happening the last couple of years? That's not as important as having a smooth talker who can really just, kind of woo you with his intellect and the way he talks? Really? Is that what it's come down to? I almost think it's kind of like, Fernando, the Billy Crystal character. It is better to look good than to feel good, darling, and you look marvelous. Well, it's almost like, it's better to sound good than to be good, and you sound marvelous. Really? Has it come to that? I get it. And sometimes people talk about how Trump lies. Well, I got news for you. All politicians lie. Everybody's lied. So that's no great revelation. And most of the time with Trump, what it comes down to, it's exaggeration. That's his personality. That's the way he's always been. He likes to talk about how, this is the best, or we're number one and all that sort of thing. He exaggerates. He's a salesman at heart. And he's going to exaggerate. And he's going to be positive and optimistic. Since when is that a bad thing for a leader to be? Positive and optimistic. Apparently now it is because, he's selling false hope or he's telling lies. Come on. He's just a salesperson. He's just exaggerating it, trying to add positivity and optimism to the population. What is so wrong with that? People are smart enough to kind of see through that. If it's not necessarily a lie, it's just a salesman being ultimately positive. I just don't get it. This Trump Derangement Syndrome is more contagious and dangerous than COVID-19. That's right, I said it. I think it's more dangerous because it's changing the DNA of this country. It's changing the DNA of the country and the people that live in it. Now, the media is largely responsible for this. I mean, let's face it. They've been brainwashing a large segment of our population for a long time now. And a big part of that is because of Trump Derangement Syndrome. Now, mind you, both sides do it. They both can be accused of kind of brainwashing or spinning things a certain way. I understand that. Both sides do it. They really do. But this has really gotten out of hand, what you see the media doing and how dishonest they can be. Not only by what they report, but sometimes by what they don't report. It's just as important. You know what? I've gotten to the point where I really just don't believe just about anything I see and hear in the media anymore. I really don't. It makes no difference who the source is, even ones that I used to trust. I don't anymore. Unless I see something for myself, observe it, or I have a way to kind of confirm what is being reported by 2 or 3 other sources, then I just don't believe it. That's how bad it's gotten. Are any of you like that as well? I mean, do you gotten to the point where you just don't trust the media anymore? And now a lot of people are turning to these, quite frankly, I think some of them are kooks out there just talking about all kinds of conspiracy theories. Because we don't trust the media, now we're turning to people that aren't in the media and having them tell us what we should believe and how we should believe it. Very dangerous, folks. Very dangerous times. Look, I'm all for people that are smooth with their delivery and politicians who are, really slick like that. I mean, Obama was like that. The guy was just incredibly smooth and slick. It's his policies that some people didn't agree with. That's why I'm concerned. I really do think that Trump Derangement Syndrome is more contagious and more deadly than COVID-19. It's infecting our media and it's starting to infect our population. Be careful. But then again, what do I know? It's just one man's opinion.